Shannon, anyone in particular that you can think from a personal level or a career level that was a mentor or a teacher to you that influenced who you are today?
Miss Flowers, she was my 10th grade English teacher, and she actually really cemented my interest in both literature and all things reading and writing, which is something I brought with me in everything that I do career-wise. But she also exposed me to sort of the business world and the idea of entrepreneurship, because we had to write about a story about someone who had made an impact on the world. So I ended up selecting Anita Roddick, who was the founder of The Body Shop.
How about you, Chris?
Mine was in middle school. Mine was a lady named Donna Rand, who was the dean at Tucka Mountain Science Center, which was an alternative program that I went to for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Yeah. And I hated science in elementary school, or anything about science in elementary school. And Tucka Mountain was very science and mathematics focused. And she really taught me the connections that science has with everyday life. And I think that's given me my analytical background, that deep connection background, a little bit of that engineering background
yeah,
that you
absolutely.
and I both kind of share, and how science and math in general kind of interplay with how you look at things, having the data in order to make decisions, having the right data and trusting that data, versus having every decision being made with just your gut and without the support. So I've taken that with me throughout my whole life, even though I eventually became an English major, moved away from science again later on in life. I kind of have that how do you connect the science and the specifics to your decision-making process, and obviously that's what a lot of engineers come from, and I know that's a bit of a background that you have. So who's someone who's influenced you?
Well, one was Marcos Aristizabal. He was my teacher in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. He taught art and literature, and he really believed in us. And I went to an all-girls school, and at the time I was going to school, you went there basically to be a mom and a wife. But he would push us, and he was always forcing us to do things that we didn't want to do. Like, for example, there was a contest, an art contest in the town where I live, and he said, you have to go, and I said, I'm not gonna go, and he said, yes, it's on a Saturday, if you don't go, I give you a bad grade. So I went, and that belief, he knew how to push us in a way that was very supportive in a way, but also hard. And he helped us look at life differently. So we read Don Quixote, which is like the key of literature in Latin America. And it's a huge book. We didn't want to read it, so he would read, we took turns reading it through a whole year. And he would explain it. And if you go in my office today, I always talk about the Quixote being a symbol for life. Sometimes we are idealistic and we're going after the windmills, and someone is behind us saying, no, that's a windmill. Or sometimes we're Sancho, which is the practical person following someone else's dream. So for me, that was it.